Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Well, this time I'm going to be doing a tag. This is the My Life in Genre tag, and I was tagged about 3 weeks ago by Heather Reeds, so thank you Heather for the tag. It has taken me a while to actually do it, and the questions were really kind of deep questions, so I thought I would, take my sweet time in writing up some notes. This is based on different genres, so each question is themed around a particular genre of books. The first one is horror. What scares you? So, I've had to overcome a lot of fears. I would say I'm probably scared of less things now than I used to be, such as public speaking and fear of the dark. And then there's things that kind of both scare and fascinate me, so I don't know if that really counts or not. Like, I think wildfires are very scary, especially where I'm from, where they're very common, but also very fascinating. I have actually seen a wildfire in person, not too close fortunately, but it was certainly an awe-inspiring sight. Anyway, as far as what just scares me, I guess on the more light-hearted end, I'm still scared of spiders and very large dogs because, yeah, that's just how basic I am. Question number 2, sci-fi. What is something you have done that is beyond belief, something you didn't think you could accomplish until you actually did it? Well, so when I was in my mid-20s, there was a situation at work which caused a vacuum in leadership on our team. And I was really tossing and turning over it because I suspected they would promote somebody to fill that vacuum, but I wasn't sure if I should go for it. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I didn't have any leadership experience at this point. But long story short, I did end up getting that job. I did end up becoming the manager. And it was very exciting. It was very stressful and hard to believe. I mean, I think I was kind of in shock that it actually happened. And I didn't have much experience at this point. I did have a lot of knowledge, though, about the stuff we were working on, and that's probably as much the reason as I got it as any, but yeah, it was a very exciting and unexpected experience. I will say it probably aged me more than most other experiences did at the time, but it was good. I actually did start writing a science fiction story about my experience, but I didn't get very far with that, so there you go. Question number 3 is fantasy. What excites you? It really doesn't take much to excite me. I always get excited when I see small cute animals, like especially squirrels at the park. So that's all it takes. Question 4 is Thriller-Suspense. What makes you anxious or keeps you up at night? Some of these questions are a little bit like trying to unpack all of your darkest, deepest fears. Well, my poor husband could tell you I'm extremely anxious as a person. I don't think he fully realized that when we were dating. On top of that, I'm a bit of a germaphobe. I think my most garden variety worry is just I'm worried about the state of the world right now, like everyone else. Question number 5, action adventure. What thrills you? What is something you do for fun other than reading? Again, this is going to be quite boring, but I love seasonal decor. I love going to Christmas shops and looking at fall decor as well. I mean, you probably know this because, many of my videos, when I have all of my stuff with me, I usually try and decorate my desk a bit for the season. Probably not this year, but next year we'll have all the pumpkins on the desk. I love interior decorating. I wouldn't call myself an interior designer, but I love decorating. We are currently accumulating a collection of kitchen appliances and accessories in various shades of mint and teal green, which just makes me so happy. You have no idea. That's what I do for fun. Question 6, mystery crime. What aggravates you? A problem you have to remedy every time it comes up. Well, I think I've become less of a perfectionist over the years. I'm really trying to heal from that. But I do have the inclination to fix things that I see out of order, tidy things, fix typos. When it comes to like video editing, I'm not the best editor, but I listen back to my entire video before posting it. 9 out of 10 times I try to do that. And if I don't feel good about it, if there's some part that I'm like, I don't know about this, or I don't know if I, like how I said this, or I wonder if this part could really offend somebody, which probably it wouldn't, but I'm just kind of paranoid about that. So I will cut out parts that I'm not quite sure about, and if I don't feel comfortable with it, I'll try to edit down. And if I see an error in a video, I will even take it off of YouTube and repost it. Fortunately, I've not had to do that very often, but it is something I've been known to do. Let's see, question number 7. What delights you and/or makes you laugh? So growing up, my brother and sister and I developed this rather complicated, curated list of inside jokes based on movies we'd watched and obscure movie quotes. And my sister and I in particular, we'd do this thing where, one person would write down some joke, or like we'd do like different characters from different movies, but then as the conversation went on back and forth, we'd start inserting in more jokes and characters, and it was very silly and weird, but I loved it. We both loved it. It was just a joy, honestly. And I think these kind of weird inside jokes are still my favorite kind of humor. There were a couple of people at my previous workplace who had the same kind of humor, and I just loved it. So, good stuff. Romance. What's your platonic or romantic love language? I guess all of them, but especially quality time and attention. I think that's my favorite. Number 9, nonfiction. What inspires or motivates you? This is going to sound corny, but beauty. Beauty inspires and motivates me. Experiencing beauty, whether it's the natural beauty God designed or art or music that humans create. It just reminds me that I'm loved and that life is worth living. And while I know these things on an intellectual basis, in this sort of abstract way, it really does make a difference to also know it on an emotional level. So I find I'm a lot happier when I do take time to go out in nature or experience some piece of art, whether visual or literary or musical. Question 10 is anti-normative fiction. In which areas of your life do you swim against the stream? Well, I don't want to be like one of those special, like I'm such a special person. I'm not like other girls, but I have to say that I think in most areas of life I do swim against the stream. I've always kind of struggled to label and or group myself in anything. I think, it's hard to live life as a Christian as well. especially having to make decisions that are inconvenient or unpopular due to religious convictions. So that's always been a challenge. And I would say probably the only place I feel like I've ever fit in is the book community. It's been part of my life for a long time now, and it is such a diverse community and overall such a welcoming, friendly community that I have felt like I do belong. So, yeah, that's why it's so important and why I continue making time for it. Literary fiction. What is something you like to take your time with? Oh boy, I can be very slow at many things, but I especially like to take my time when learning new things. I've had to spend a lot of my career learning things at lightning speed, and it's just not a fun time. It's not fun to have to, learn something in a few hours so that you can do some project that's due in a few days. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but sometimes it really is like that, especially when you work in tech. So that's a fine way to work, but I don't think it's really good for retaining knowledge, and I like learning things slowly. I like reading books about some topic and reading a lot of them, maybe taking upwards of a year or more on a particular topic. And just kind of letting it sink in, just absorbing it, not even necessarily going about it in a very rigorous, methodical way, but just exploring, absorbing, and just seeing what sticks. Alright, the last question here is poetry. What is something ordinary or mundane that you find beautiful or extraordinary? I guess I like seeing the design of things. I really like a really good font, if I see a good font, or a thoughtful sign, or something or app or experience that was clearly built for people in mind. Don't get me started on museum design. I love museum design. I could go on for a while about it. These are things that do bring me joy and I do find extraordinary, even though they're a bit mundane on the surface. And then I also just love rainy days. I love, whoa, somebody's beeping really loud. I love rainy days. I love the sound of rain on the window, and I think there's something just very magical about it, even though it is very mundane. So this fan is looking really pretty, actually. Talk about beauty in the mundane. I really like this one. The colors are fabulous, and it just looks really pretty and glowy. Alright, that's all the questions I had. Thanks again, Heather, for tagging me. And I don't think I'm going to tag anyone because by the time I've posted this, I think the people I would have tagged have probably been tagged. But if you'd like to do this and you haven't been tagged, please consider yourself tagged. And I will see you next time. Bye.